Okay. Chaliye. Is it okay now? Now, am I audible? Am I audible now? Mridul ji, kindly confirm, am I audible? Is it okay? Chaliye. So we are discussing regarding the period poverty. So what does the term period poverty mean? So you will, if you analyze the term period poverty, it comprises of two words. First is your period and another is your poverty. So it reflects if due to financial condition, or if due to financial constraint, or if you are living below the poverty line, and because of all these factors, if some girl is unable to maintain their menstruation cycle, if they are unable to purchase the sanitary pads, then it reflects period poverty. Because of poverty, menstruation items are not being purchased. So now we will see why it is in news. So you can see that Scotland has become the first nation. Just a moment. Now you can see that Scotland has become the first nation in the world to legally protect the right to access free period products, and have made period products free for all by passing the Period Products Act. So you can see that Scotland has become the first nation in the world to pass a bill called the Period Product Act, which means that period poverty won't be over there. That means during the period, the necessary items will be provided and it will be accessible to all. Okay. Period poverty is when those of low incomes cannot afford or access the suitable period products. The development in Scotland. So now we have to see what is the development in Scotland. Under the Period Product Act, schools, colleges, universities, as well as the local government bodies must make a range of period products available for free in their bathrooms. So you can see that in the Period Product Act, it is being mentioned that school, colleges, universities, as well as the local government bodies, they must have certain range of period product that should be available in bathroom, so that if something happens, if period occurs, the girls can take those items from the bathroom itself. So it's a good initiative. It's a good initiative. We will discuss what will be its impact on India also. Even the council in Scotland is required. Even the council in Scotland is required with local communities to determine the best access point for menstrual products. Now we have to discuss regarding the accessibility. A mobile phone application, Pick Up My Period, also helps people find the nearest place. Suppose now, welcome Binay ji, how are you? Good evening. So now that Scotland has become the first nation to pass this bill, and apart from that, they have developed a mobile application called Pick Up My Period. Pick Up My Period. So when you will download this application, the citizens of Scotland, when they will download this application, if you click those application, it will start showing the places in which period products are being kept. That is freely accessible. Okay. The period product would be available at the libraries, swimming pools, public gyms, community buildings, town halls, pharmacies, doctor office, everywhere this period product will be available. Now you can think of the level, now you can think of the developmental level they have. Now we have to see a state of menstrual hygiene in India. Now we have to see, we have discussed regarding the development and regarding the steps that are being initiated by the Scotland so that they can control this. Now we have to see what are the different steps that are being initiated in the Indian government itself, and what is the status. Status kya hai? So according to United Nations Children's Fund, according to a United Nations Children's Fund study conducted in 2011, only 13% of the girls in India were aware of menstruation before menarche. Menarche means the first time when girl experiences period. So it has been said that only 13% of the girl they are well acknowledged about the menstrual cycle before menarche. Okay, after menarche they are going to discuss with their friend, they are going to discuss with their mother regarding all the things. ठीक है ना? Okay, चलिए. Only 13% of the girl in India are aware of menstruation before menarche. 60% of the girl missed school on account of menstruation. So one thing you must be knowing, that the dropout ratio, you must have seen that the dropout ratio is very much high in government school. Why it is so? बताइए. Vinay ji, Midul ji, please do let me know if you consider the private school as well as on the other hand, if you take on the government school, the dropout ratio of girls when they reaches the adolescent age, that means when they reaches the age of 11 to 13 years, the dropout ratio is very high in government school, but it is very much less in private school. What is the basic reason? Please do explain. बताइए, what is the basic reason? Please do explain. बताइए. गुरु, इसमें स्पेशल कंट्री को हाईलाइट किया जाए जैसे कि स्कॉटलैंड मिनार्की अवेयरनेस. यस, द वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर that demarcate why the dropout ratio is high in government school as compared to the private school is just because of the awareness. In private school you might be knowing, देखिए generally क्या होता है, it depends upon the mental level. If the parents are sending their words, if the parents are sending their children to in private school, that means they are well aware of it. Okay, so before the menarche itself, it's the responsibility of the mother to explain her daughter regarding all the steps. Apart from that, sanitary products, all the things, period products are being kept. But when you talk about in government school, generally what happens? Much of the students, they come from the village itself. So it's because the parents are ashamed of discussing such type of things. Actually, that's why sexual education is being promoted in the school. But in the government school, it is there, but it is not being, classes are not being taken off. So the parents are ashamed of discussing such things. So because of period itself, when the girls experiences period, she will be in trouble, but she cannot, because of mental trauma, because of superstitious thought, she cannot discuss with the mother, and because of this she has to drop out. She has to take the leave. Okay, she has to take the leave. That's why the dropout ratio is high in government schools. Now you can see that we are taking over the statistics. %60 of the girl missed school on account of menstruation. 79% faced low confidence due to menstruation. Low confidence. Why? Because why low confidence? You might have seen in the movies or in the advertisement, they do not have the period product. They do not have the proper sanitary pads. Okay, and because of that, these girls are a little bit ashamed to move here and there, and that lowers their confidence. Okay. And 44% were embarrassed and humiliated over restrictions. Okay. Thereby, menstruation adversely impacts women's education, equality, maternal and children health. So, being an educated person, being an UPSC aspirant, our aim is to bring equality in the society, and we should avoid superstitious thought. Okay, chaliye. Now you can see that, but because of the different initiatives, because of the different campaigns that are being undertaken by the government, these things are improving. Now you can see that women aged 15 to 24 years using period product. Women aged 15 to 24 years using period products. 17 states and union territories have 90% or more of their women using period products. So now it has been seen that 17%, if you take the example of 17 states and union territories, more than 90% of the women, they are well aware regarding the period product and they are equally using it also. In Puducherry and Andaman Nicobar Island, the fraction was 99%. Just think of it. That means 99% of the girls, they are using sanitary pads, they are using period products. Tripura, Chhattisgarh, Assam, Gujarat, Meghalaya, Madhya Pradesh and Bihar had 70% or fewer of them women using period product. But when it comes to Bihar, Bihar is the only state to report a figure lower than 60%. Lower than 60%. Bihar is the only state. So this type of question is very much important for, you can see that state PCS. State PCS, but remember one thing, BPSC is never going to ask this question. BPSC is always remember in the state, if the questions will be coming, the question will be often asked regarding the development. Regarding some type of question won't be asked. Okay. Now we have to see what are the initiatives that are being undertaken by the Indian government, because of which on an average 17 states they are 17 states women जो है, they are aware regarding the period. ठीक है, चलिए. Suchi scheme aims at instilling awareness about the menstrual hygiene among the adolescent girl. It was started in 2013-14, initially as a central sponsored one. However, the center asked the state to take over the scheme from 2015 to 2016. So you can see that Suchi means what? Information. So it was initiated in the year of 2013-14 by the central government regarding the awareness. It was basically an awareness campaign that has been undertaken regarding the menstrual cycle, regarding the period product. After 2015-16, it was handed over to state government. Apart from that, the other scheme is your menstrual hygiene scheme. Menstrual hygiene scheme focuses on promotion of menstrual hygiene among adolescent girls 10 to 19 years in rural areas of selected district in 2011. Now you can see that Sabla program is there. Sabla program, it was implemented by the Ministry of Women and Child Development. It focuses on nutrition, health, hygiene, reproductive and sexual health linked to the rural mother and childcare centers. Is it okay? So it is implemented by the Ministry of Women and Child Development. It focuses on nutrition, health, hygiene, reproductive and sexual health linked to rural mother and childcare centers. National Rural Livelihood Mission, it supports self-help group, small manufacturers to produce sanitary pads. So National Rural Livelihood Missions, it basically focuses on the cottage industry for the development of qualitative, first thing, and apart from on the second hand, economical sanitary products. Is it okay? Binay ji, please do let me know, are you preparing for UPSC? क्या आप UPSC की तैयारी कर रहे हैं? Please do let me know once. I think this is your first class. Swachh Bharat Mission and Swachh Bharat Swachh Vidyalaya. Menstrual hygiene management is also an integral part of the Swachh Bharat mission. So this was all about your. Apart from that, the other schemes are guidelines for gender issues in sanitations. That means we are talking about the gender parity. Guidelines for gender issues in sanitation. These have been evolved by the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation to ensure gender equality, empowerment of women and girls with their respective sanitation. That means it's our responsibility. It's our responsibility because see, it's a biological cycle. It's a natural and biological cycle, and we should respect it. We should, being an educated or not educated, if you're literate enough, you should educate because it's a biological cycle. It's a biological cycle. So respect must be given. Apart from that, safe and effective menstrual hygiene management is a trigger for better and stronger development for adolescent girls and women. Okay, now what are the way forward? Now still we have seen that there are certain states in which the ratio is less than 17%. Even you have seen that in the Bihar, the awareness regarding the sanitation program is less than 60%. So what step must be taken by the government? बताइए. Please tell me. Minaji, please do let me about yourself. Are you preparing for UPSC? This is your first class. Please introduce yourself. You must have seen that whenever you enter a new engineering college or whatever the college, you must introduce yourself. Please do introduce yourself. Vinay, are you there in my class? Okay. ठीक है. Way forward. The government of India should also consider the approach of Scotland and make the period product available at reasonable concession discount. So you can see that the steps that is being initiated by the Scotland can be copied in India, can be emulated in India too. We can also keep the period product free of cost and even जो है, if not possible, at a reasonable and discounted price, but it should be freely accessible in all the places like government schools, toilets, malls, markets, marketplaces. Everywhere it should be accessible. So it reflects the level of awareness. Apart from that, the other is the government can also promote a small scale sanitary pad manufacturing. The government can also promote a small scale sanitary pad manufacturing units to make low cost pads more easily available. It will also help in generating income for women. Okay, so the government जो है, government should promote a small scale industries to develop in this sector, and apart from that, the sanitary pads that are produced, it should be qualitative, and apart from that, reasonable rates should be maintained. The one of the important thing is the government needs to provide efforts directed at awareness and education about the menstruation, menstrual hygiene, and access to the safe product, responsive water and sanitation, hygiene, and wash infrastructure. So it's the responsibility of the government to provide an efforts. It's the responsibility of the government to create awareness through different media campaigns, through social media campaigns, so that the level of thinking will improve. And apart from that, we can easily copy the Scotland idea. ठीक है, तो this was all about this thing. Now we are going to study another topic like Italy's Lake Garda. Italy's Lake Garda. Is it okay? Any doubt till here? Binay, Mridulji, any doubt till here? Please do let me know. Okay. Italy's Lake Garda. Context is what? Because of drought, it has been observed that Italy, the one of the important lake of Italy, that is called Garda, that is being situated to the northern portion, is the water level is the lowest. Are you getting what the context is? Because of worse drought, and because of deficient rainfall, the farmers have started taking the water from the Lake Garda, and because of that, the level of water has dropped in such a level that the rocks are being exposed, that the bottom rocks are being exposed, and because of that, the lakes have warmed a little. Now you can see that this is your Lake Garda. ठीक है ना? Now UPSC may ask this question in prelims. This is not important from the mains perspective, rather it is important for the prelims question, because in prelim often such type of questions are being asked. So whatever we are studying, you must be knowing in what context the topic is. Okay, now you'll see the reason. Already we have discussed the reason. Because of drought, the farmers have started drawing the water from the lake, and because of it, the level drops. So first of all, the first reason is lower rainfall for months, snowfall in 2022 was also down, lower rainfall for months and snowfall in 2022 was also down by 70%, drying up important rivers like Po, which flows across Italy agriculture industrial heartland. So what is the important factor? One of the important factor is your like lower rainfall, deficient rainfall, and apart from the other factor is your the Po river, one of the important river of Italy, it has been dried. So now the only source that is being left is your Garda lake, and the farmers jo hai, because of scarcity of water, they have started withdrawing the water from the lake Garda. The parched condition of the Po, Italy longest river, caused billion of euros in losses to farmers, which normally rely it to irrigate the fields and rice paddies. To compensate for the loss, authorities allowed more water from Lake Garda to flow to the local rivers. Authorities, they have allowed to take the water so that the farmer can do the agricultural. Okay, apart from that, but in July 2022, they reduced the amount to protect the lake and the financially important tourism tied to it. So this lake is also important for agriculture. Apart from that, because of the water, this lake is a source of tourism. That's why after a level has been reached, the authorities restricted the use of water. Now we have to see the various factors that is responsible for your drying this lake. So one of the important factors is being already discussed is your variability of rainfall. Is a major cause of drought. The percentage of variability is inversely related to the total rainfall. A deviation in the route of monsoonal wind or an early withdrawal of monsoon too also can lead to the drought condition. That means if the monsoon winds are delayed or if they are early, they can also cause deficiency in rainfall. Drought can be caused by the forest fire also, because the forest fire is also responsible for drying up the moisture in the soil. Suppose if forest fire happens, so ultimately what happens? The roots are responsible for what? Roots are responsible for sending the water and minerals to the different parts of the plant where the photosynthesis is being done. Now during the forest fire, what happens? The capillary action is very fast. The roots try to suck more water, and because of that the water table decreases, and because of that the soil moistures that is being present in the porosity of the soil is also decreases. So forest fire is also responsible for agricultural drought. Remember, forest fire is also responsible for agricultural drought. ठीक है? Land degradation in addition to climate change result in increase in droughts. Now we have to see solution. So first of all, we have to manage the water management. Now please do let me know how you can manage the shortage of water. Water management. How? Water management. So first of all is your focusing on the dryland farming. If water availability is not there, we should shift to the dryland farming product. So first is your dryland farming product. First is your dryland farming. First is your dryland farming. Okay. Second is your water conservation. You should conserve the water conservation. How water conservation should be carried out? Regeneration of aquifers. Aquifers are basically responsible for regeneration of aquifers. In the second case is your rainwater harvesting. Roof water management. Okay, that is called rainwater harvesting. The rainwater you can harvest is, that means you can send the rainwater to the underground means groundwater. ठीक है ना, so that it can replenish the groundwater. So you can write like rainwater harvesting. Is it okay? ठीक. Rainwater harvesting. Now the other thing is what? You should conserve the soil moisture. You should conserve the soil moisture. How the soil moisture can be saved? By the process of mulching. You can apply the mulches over the soil so that the soil water evaporation can be reduced. ठीक है ना? So mulching can be applied. Mulching जो है, mulching can be applied. Mulching can be applied. Mulching can be applied. Okay. Apart from that, you can shift to the process of reducing the water. That means you can shift to the process of drip irrigation, a sprinkler irrigation. So you can shift to the process of drip irrigation, and a sprinkler irrigation, drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation. ठीक है, ड्रिप इरिगेशन, स्प्रिंकलर अरेंजमेंट, ड्रिप इरिगेशन एंड स्प्रिंकलर इरिगेशन. Last is your, now you can also, for the purpose of saving the water, you can go for the desalination of water using Israeli based technology. Desalination of water. That means you can utilize ocean water by the process of desalination of water, and the best technology in this regard is your Israeli technology. Israeli technology. Is it okay? Is it clear? Okay. So this is your mulching. The mulches are being applied. The mulching, okay, mulches so that you can reduce water transpiration or you can reduce water evaporation. The other measures that we can discuss, like buttressing the soil through sand fences, windbreaks, need for enriched hyper fertilization of the soil. Hyper fertilization, if the soil fertility is being maintained, then that means you do not have to supply much water. And already we have discussed, like, for the purpose of water conservation, you can shift toward the more efficient way of irrigation, that is your drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation arrangement. Okay, now we will see the Indian government initiative, integrated watershed management program for the purpose of water conservation, national mission on green India, desert development program, launched in 1995 to minimize the adverse effect of drought, to rejuvenate the natural resources better in the identified desert areas. Okay, chaliye. Now we have having another short topic that is related to flood governance. Is it clear? Mridul ji, Vinay ji, is it clear? Please do let me know. If any doubt, please do let me know. Ask. You can ask you can ask me if any doubt persists. Clear? Okay. Now we'll go for the another topic, that is your Neruguli pedi. So before starting this topic, we must be knowing. Suppose Assam is in, when we talk about the Assam, it's a particular area which is being frequently inundated by flood. So rather than controlling the flood, means apart from controlling the flood, we must also think that the economy must not be affected, agricultural system must not be affected. That is called flood governance. ओके चलिए, इज इट ओके? चलिए, सो वन इज योर मैनेजमेंट ऑफ फ्लड, वन इज कॉल्ड मैनेजमेंट ऑफ फ्लड और डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट. फ्लड जो है इट कम्स अंडर द डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट, डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट, disaster management. Okay, and under disaster management what is there? Flood is there, flood is there. But now latest concept is your flood governance. Flood govern, if flood happens, if the recurrence of flood is there, so how you can govern it, how you can govern it, what is the process of governing the flood so that the local people, local economy is not being impacted. So it is called flood governance. So we have to remember certain case studies. So in this we are going to discuss a type of paddy which can easily grow in the flood times. Okay, so you can write it in your case study. So the topic is farmers in the village of Sedur, Kanale, Hiranalur, Gram Panchayat grow a flood resistant traditional variety of paddy. Grow a flood resistant traditional variety of paddy. Okay, so Nerugli is a flood resistant traditional variety of paddy. Nerugli variety yields around 50 bags of paddy, each weighing around 60 kg per acre. So this we are talking about the productivity. Though the yield is less, but you can also see that this Nerugli paddy, it can also grow in the region of heavy flood. So that means the economy can't be impacted. The paddy did not lose its quality even when the field was inundated for 40 days. You can see that if the field remains inundated, if it remains inundated, if it remains flooded, still it can produce. The quality is not being impacted. No doubt. Quantity may be little bit impacted, but the quality remains the same. So you can quote the example of flood governance by quoting the example of Nerugli paddy. The grass blades rot and what remains are the stalks which sprout once the water level recedes. Okay, so generally what happens, if the water level is high enough, it will remain in the active state. Okay, but it is not going to produce the grains, and once the water recedes, it will start producing the grains. That is the specialty. That is the specialty about this Nerugli paddy. You can see that there are other varieties in Bangladesh and Andhra Pradesh that can withstand flood, grow tall, but will collapse when the water recedes. But Nerugli is quite opposite, since it is rooted and grows fast once the water recedes. However, due to extensive use of chemical fertilizers, this variety of paddy too could withstand flood for 25 days. It is like for its vigor, taste and health quotient. This variety is organically growing using traditional method and is highly nutritious and great demand in Kerala and Goa. So see, such type of news, you do not have to remember the complete news. Just you have to remember the Nerugli paddy that is being grown in the region of Kerala, and you can quote this example for the purpose of flood governance. We can take this Nerugli paddy in the region of Assam where it is being frequently inundated with flood. So this is how we can take the examples. Is it okay? Clear hai? Kisi ko doubt hai to please do let me know. Again from 8 p.m. I am having science and tech classes. Is it okay? Is it clear? Again from 8 p.m. we are having the classes regarding science and tech, and from tomorrow onwards, from Thursday itself, on Tuesday itself, I have already discussed regarding the disaster management syllabus. Apart from that, from tomorrow itself, we are going to start the disaster management, and the first chapter will be like introduction to disaster. So it's a humble request to all my aspirants who are attending the classes, please do come live, because your live presence motivates us. it's the only source of motivation. Apart from that, I feel like the session should be interactive one. If you ask more question to me, it will be like learning. Okay. Is it clear? So any doubt? Okay, so thanks a lot everyone. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. We will again meet at 8 p.m. in which we are going to discuss the science and tech current affair that is much important for the prelims, that is much important for the mains 2022. So please do attend my session. Thanks a lot.